Broadsword calling Danny Boy.
Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Going to take another look here at the infamous Rocknest image. Large panoramic. This is the white balance version here, although it still has the peak filter on it. It's pretty grungy, but it's not bad actually, this one. If you download the TIFF image, you're going to need something decent to look at it in, some kind of imaging software. Photoshop or something like that will do. Okay, now before we start, let's just go and I've got it loaded up into my paint shop here. Here we go. It's a huge image, enormous image. I mean, look at the size of it. This something like 14,000 pixels wide. There's so much in this image. I have done loads and loads of videos on the stuff in the foreground. There's loads of skulls in this area. There's a pig just there. I don't know if you can see him. It's a pig. There's all sorts. There's bird skulls. There's a skull here. It's a kind of ape or something similar. There's there's tons and tons of stuff. We're not going to concentrate on that today. I'm just going to point out a few of the obvious ones for you if you want to take a look yourself. There's a dinosaur over here. This long thing here. That's the jawbone there in the sand, and that's the torso. You can see the scales on it. See the scales? There's also just down here is a shoe. Just here, which I've covered all these before, but I just point them out just to show you where they are. There's the shoe. There he is. And just over here, there's a dinosaur skull. Here. There's the eye socket there, and there's some teeth there. There's the back of the cranium. I mean, a lot of this stuff is fossilized and probably been there for millions of years. Now, just to the right of that is the bag, which I've done a couple of videos on actually. This is the bag here. You see it here. And there is stitching. You can see the seam in the bag here, and there is leather stitching going through it like this and tied in a knot. Loads and loads of stuff. That's enough about that. Well, what I'm looking at today is the background of this image. I've just been going over it again. Now, what I've done is I've clipped just the very top third or quarter of the image and cropped that, just to make it easier to work with, because it's such a large thing. The computer can struggle a little bit with this thing. So I've taken the whole top end of the image off, just to look at it in a bit more detail. Now, there's a few strange things in this image. Now, first of all, let's go for what look like some footprints. And there's one or two buildings. There's some footprints or some strange structures. There's also what looks like possibly a UFO crashed on the edge of the crater. Now let's get in a bit closer. Now it all looks pretty innocuous when you first look at it, but there are some interesting structures up here on this ridge, and some of them look very artificial in nature. I'll come back to that in a second. Now the first one I'm going to look at is the building. Now here's the building here. I've taken a clip of it. I'll show you where it is in the image. It's right over to the right. If you go over to the right, there's what looks like some water here, and right up here, right on the right end, is this. And there's a little ridge here and a building here. There he is. I'll zoom right in for you. There he is. Look at this semicircular shape here. There's even a door here. Now I'll show you the clip I've taken, and then you will see the detail. I mean, it's a long way off. This is probably a couple of miles away. It's probably a reasonable sized building. Can't tell you how big it is exactly. Let's get rid of that a minute. Let's have the hand tool there. There we go. There. Now, there's the building. That's the raw version. Now I've drawn around it and selected the area and darkened that part, as you can see. Now, if you look carefully here, there's a square. Look at that square, and another one here. This looks to me like a door frame, and a window. This is like a hut, like almost like a bomb shelter type hut, like you would get in World War II, with the curved structure to it, curved roof. What else can I say? I mean, let's have another look. I've enhanced it a bit more here. I'll show you this a bit larger. There we go. Now, obviously this is a long way off, so if you zoom in and enlarge it too much, it's just going to get worse and worse. So I've blurred it a bit here and up the contrast a bit, white balanced it a little bit, so it's gone a bit blue. But you can see here, I mean, it's such a long way away. There is a door frame, a rectangular shape here with a shadow under it there, and there looks like a black square here, which looks to be a window. I'll darken it a bit more. That didn't really help. It's difficult when you're dealing with stuff it's so far away. Let's try the clarify tool here, which is basically brightness and contrast. There we go. And let's brighten it up a bit. +6. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see the frame just there, and a window. But obviously it's a long way away, so we're not going to concentrate too much on that because it's too small, or too far away, or a bit of both. So we'll get rid of those. There it is again. I've done some basic enhancements on that. You might be able to see that better. There's the frame. There's the window. It's a little bit ambiguous, but I'm pretty sure that is a building. It doesn't look like a natural structure, and I think there may be. Here we are. This is kind of how it comes. That's just been darkened a bit. This also may be part of the building here, with a sort of curved roof to it. Hard to say, too far away and too unclear. So we'll move on from that. There's another, what looks like a small building near the center of the image. It's over here by where was it? It was over here somewhere, right near the center on this mountain here. I can't remember exactly where it is. I might be able to find it again in a second, but I'll just show you quickly. This isn't much. It's a long way off. It's very blurred out, and it's just a very distant object. This looks like another building with a right angle here and a flat roof to it. I've done a very quick enhancement of it. There we go. See that straight edge? See the 90-degree angle? There's also some interesting stuff up behind it. Too far away, can't really tell what it is. It looks like some sort of building or ruins of some sort. Hard to say exactly, so we won't spend too much time on that either, because I've got something a lot more interesting than this to show you, which I kind of stumbled on. Now, as you may know, if you're one of my subscribers, I've recently found that a huge aircraft crashed on the side of a gully in Gale Crater next to an oasis. So check that out if you get a chance to see it, because anyone who says it's just rocks on Mars is delusional, because people are finding all sorts of things. There's UFOs up there. There's crashed aircraft. There's tons and tons of weird stuff, and you just got to look for it, and you just got to be patient and look carefully up the contrast in these images. If you go for the large panoramics, they're much better because there's a lot more information in them, so you're more likely to find something because there's just more of it. So I'd recommend the Rocknest image if you're a budding new researcher. Rocknest is probably one of the best ones there is. I would start with the foreground of Rocknest and look at the skulls and fossils, because there's loads of them and lots of strange objects lying around. It's a bit harder when you're working with backgrounds because everything's so far away. It's difficult to interpret what you're actually looking at. Now this is puzzling the hell out of me. What's going on here? Now this may or may not be water here in the middle of this section. This is also this is near that building that I showed you a minute ago. The little hut building is actually just to the left of this here. This also may be a building here. Hard to say. It's a bit vague, really. Even if you up the contrast on it, it's still a bit too far away. But what caught my eye on this, which I found extremely strange, was what looked like some massive footprints. Now look here in a diagonal pattern. They get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they go on and on. There's about 10 or 15 of them. Are they footprints? I don't know, but why are they equally spaced? What are these things? These patterns. Now they're a bit hard to see because that's the raw image there. So I've enhanced it for you. All I've done is mucked about with the contrast and darkness there. I blurred it up a tiny bit and bumped up the contrast. Now you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They get a bit vague over here, and there's also some further down. Are these footprints? Because if these are footprints, which they may well not be, I can't say for sure. They just may be some kind of random patterns. I really don't know. But if these are footprints, they are absolutely enormous, because this is a long way away. This is a good mile away, possibly further. It's somewhere between a kilometre and a mile, and maybe a mile and a half even. Hard to say exactly. And for those to show up that large, I mean, you'd expect footprints. I mean, if this was for the water, which it was, you can see deposits here. This is blue sand. There may be water down here as well. There's lots of water turning up in some of these images now. I actually think we're viewing terraforming on Mars and climate change like we have on Earth. And I think the polar ice caps are probably melting like they are here. Although we get told otherwise, we get contradictory stories about that all the time. So it's hard to tell what's going on there. But these may well be salt deposits here, where the water's dried out and left salt behind. Who knows? This white stuff. But what really caught my eye were these what look like giant footprints. And if they are footprints, they're massive. They are. I couldn't tell you exactly how big they are, but these are probably something like 20 or 30 meters across each. So they can't possibly be footprints, but unless I've got the scale completely wrong, it's really, really crazy. What are they? They could be plants. They could be areas where moss is growing, or moss was growing, and there could be patches of greenery here. It doesn't tend to go that green when you work the contrast in this image, but because it's already been white balanced, I think they've already sort of blotted out a lot of the green in this Rocknest image. It might be better if you get the unwhite balanced version and then muck around with it. And this will probably go bright green if you do that. But the fact they've already white balanced it means that they're probably trying to hide all the moss and organic material that's in the background. So that's what I would recommend. I don't really know what these are. If you have any ideas, leave a comment, because I'm bemused by these what look like giant footprints. Why are they so evenly spaced? You know, look at the distance between these, especially these top 5 or 6 here. They're very equally spaced. That is odd. I really don't know what they are. I'm kind of guessing here. I'm just saying footprints because they're evenly spaced, but they can't possibly be footprints that big. I mean, when you look at the overall scale of this image, it's an enormous image. It's a job to fit it on your screen, actually. There we go. That's just obviously the top part, like I said. These footprints are right over here in this top left corner. So this is probably a mile away, or over a kilometre away. This top left corner. At least I'd say a couple of thousand meters. So you're probably over a kilometre, getting on for a mile. And you can see them here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even unenhanced. Once you know they're there, they go all the way down to what may have been the water's edge here. Very strange. And there's that building, and there's that little, maybe possible other building next to it. Who knows? Interesting stuff. I mean, I'll probably call this the hunting lodge or something, but it's maybe the fishermen sort of went there and then went fishing in the lake at the bottom of the crater. Probably be a good spot there. You could throw your line in from there. You know, just stand on the edge, catch some dangerous creatures. Who knows? There's that building with the rectangle here. That's nearer the centre of the image, not quite centre. You zoom out, it's on that big hump going up there, which is sort of yeah, it's on the right third of the image, just there. Now the last thing, I've saved the best till last here, is right by this hill sticking up in the centre of the image. And you've got the usual JPEG artifact, which appears on the same point all the way across. This is not a bird. Some people have been publishing images saying there's a bird. Well, there are birds on Mars, but this isn't one of them. It's just a missing pixel or two. It appears in all the images. It has done from almost day one, I think, with the Curiosity on the Mastcam. So don't say it's a UFO. It's because it's the same blooming shape in all images. Anyone who hasn't spotted that by now is retarded, honestly. Mentioning no names, but there are some people who are just churning out videos saying that there are UFOs and birds on Mars, and they're not. There are UFOs and birds on Mars, but you're not showing them. Now, do your homework, for God's sake. You're making my life difficult because people are complaining about my videos saying they're fake, and they're after watching yours. So do your bloody homework, for God's sake now. Honestly, sort it out. You know, you're muddying the waters further and pissing a lot of people off. Not only are you claiming to find things you haven't found, other people like me have published way before you, but you're also publishing bullshit. I'm not saying all your videos are bullshit, but a lot of them are, especially recently. You're just churning stuff out for the sake of the hits, and it's just not on. So, be warned. Right, okay, that's my rant out of the way. The thing I'm on about here is in this area here. There's the missing pixel, not the bird. Okay, missing pixel, everybody take note. Right, okay. Now look at this. If you look here, there's what looks like a kind of boat shape object here. And it's a bit hard to see because it's a bit vague, so what I did is I took a clip of this part. Okay, I took a clip of it, and somewhere up here I have it. Let's get some of these out of the way because I've got a lot of stuff on this thing here. There we go. There's the raw image clip. Now there's not a lot to see there at the moment, so what you need to do is really darken it up, and you will start to see stuff coming out. That's the same slightly larger clip of the same point there, so I'll show you that one first. So I've darkened that quite a lot. So now you're starting to see something here. Now what initially drew my eye to this is this eye-shaped anomaly here. Now I have no idea what this is. There's a sort of circle here and some kind of structure around it, and it's really quite weird. And that's what initially drew me to it. But actually, I've no idea what that is, but actually the thing behind it and above it is actually more interesting, as you will find out in a second. Okay, now I've darkened it a lot more. Now it is still in colour, I blurred it a bit. I've really darkened that down, up the contrast and played with the brightness a bit, you know. Now you can see that eye thing here, really weird. We'll ignore that for now because I don't know what that is. I might think of something to call it, I don't know. But we're increasingly finding something here that looks a bit like a boat. Now it may not be a boat, it may be something else. But if you look carefully, you can see the front of it here, and a cabin here. There's a cockpit there, sort of, and there seem to be windows along the side here, and the roof here. And the back of it here. Now obviously a lot of this may be obscured behind this hill or buried, but I think we're seeing the top of possibly a flying saucer or ship or boat or whatever you want to call it. It's hard to say which, really. It looks artificial in nature, and when I show you the enhanced versions of this, you will see what I mean. So what I did, okay, is I drew around it. Where is he gone? He's behind there. We'll show you this one first. Yeah, I drew around the object with the selection tool, a freehand selection tool here. Okay, Now I've gone over that a bit. Obviously that's obscuring part of it. This may be part of the same object buried underneath, because this seems to come down. There's the roof. This may well come along to here, but unfortunately we got this missing pixel here, so that kind of ruined it, really. But I got a feeling this whole thing is much bigger, and it goes under here. Look at this curve. That looks like a very nice curve here, and this whole object may be much bigger and go into the side of this hill here. Now, if you look carefully, now I've selected that and I've changed the colour temperature. There looks like to be a window here, and another window here, and another window here, and another window here. Who's to say for sure? It's a bit hard to tell. It's quite a long way off. I did quite a lot of enhanced work on this to try and drag out some of this stuff. Okay, that's been darkened and I've highlighted that a bit. Now when you get in closer, look at these straight lines. Look at that straight line there. There's another sort of straight line here, and there's another straight line here. There's right angles in here, right angles there, right angles. It's all a bit crumpled up here. I don't know what's quite going on there. This looks like the front of what do you want to call it? A cabin, a cockpit. I don't know which. Is this a boat? Is this a crashed UFO? Has it been washed into the crater like a lot of other things have, like the huge crashed aircraft I found? Probably. Now, it's up to you to decide whether you think this is a boat or a UFO. I mean, you know, when I say UFO, I mean a flying saucer type thing. That is a typical saucer shape that you would expect a flying saucer to be. But yeah, it could be a ship, as in a marine vessel, and this could be the hull here, or there may be a lot more of the hull here, under and further along, coming round and under. So this may just be the cabin of a ship. But I'm pretty sure, looking at that, these angles here, look at that nice 45-degree angle there. That looks to me like a cabin or a cockpit. And there's some nice straight angles here with 90-degree angles that look like windows. I mean, obviously it could have been there a million years, could have been there 1,000 years, who knows? Could have been there only 50 years. I mean, we sent the Viking landers up there, the Viking probes, I should say. Sorry, in the late 70s. I think they got there around 1978. I mean, they said they discovered lots of methane on Mars. So, you know, there was probably life there then, of some sort, organic material like algae probably, and there may well still be. I really do think there are lots of plants on Mars. There's not much oxygen apparently, so we're told. But plants don't need oxygen, and they thrive in high carbon dioxide atmospheres, and go crazy. In fact, you know, they love it, obviously, because that's what they breathe. And of course, if you have plants, you're going to need something to germinate them. They may need, you know, you're going to need insects of some sort probably to germinate the plants, and you're probably going to have things that eat them, and so on, the food chain. So don't tell me this is just a rock, because there are right angles in here and very straight lines. And look at that. Look, this one here. I think I did another enhancement of this where I brightened it up a little bit more. Here we go. I lightened that even more. You may or may not be able to see that better, but look at that straight line there. There's a nice straight line there. There's a bit of a crumpled area here, but that looks to me like the front of the cockpit, and that's the window behind it, and it looks like a flying saucer. So there you go. It could be a ship, it could be something else, it could even be a damaged building that subsided or something, you know. Who's to say they don't build saucer-shaped buildings? You know, we do down here, especially in places like Holland. They're pretty keen on building, you know, dome and saucer-shaped dwellings. So who's to say? Sorry about my rants earlier on, but you know, I'm getting a bit fed up with people trolling my site after seeing other people's videos which are blatantly dubious, you know. So you know, please don't tell me this is a bird. I mean, I have found what look like birds on Mars. This is not. This is in every single bloody Mastcam picture. And anyone who publishes that, if you look at the shape of it, anyone who publishes that shape, that sort of teardrop shape, and then claiming it's some sort of bird and then putting a picture of a bird next to it, is just really not doing any of us any favours. So sort your life out. You know who you are. Stop it. Okay? You've been told. Right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to my subscribers, and I will see you soon.